Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Division of Graduate Education and Postdoctoral Affairs commencement ceremony for the University of California, San Diego is called to order. Please be seated. My name is James Anthony. I am Dean of the Division of Graduate Education and Postdoctoral Affairs. And with me on the stage are Senior Associate Dean Judy Kim, several academic and department program chairs or their faculty representatives, our alumni speaker, Professor Jay Cummings, and our student speaker, GPSA President Julia Cornell. And of course, out in the seats seated today with today's graduates are many of their faculty advisors. Before we do anything else, can you please clap for all these faculty? I'm excited to congratulate and celebrate today's graduates from many of UC San Diego's graduate programs. As I've said, congratulations on your graduation. I am so thrilled that we can be here again in person celebrating your graduation. And while little about the last few years is normal, I know these things to be true regardless of the circumstances. First, you have accomplished a great deal. These accomplishments are worthy of recognition, and we intend to celebrate you. So, before we get formally started, let's have you, the graduates, let out a big cheer for yourselves as a way of getting started and celebrating you. Go for it, graduates. And graduates, I invite you right now to stand as you are able to cheer for the friends, family, and support system that might be here today, loving you in all of their presence. Go ahead and do it. Awesome. Now, graduates, each of you has completed the requirements for a degree. What is obvious to anyone who knows you is that you have worked hard to complete this degree. You've taken advanced courses, and for many of you, you've pushed the boundaries of knowledge in your respective fields and disciplines. The value of this degree to you as an individual is evident. But what might not be evident to the rest of the world is why your earning of this degree is valuable to the world. I believe the truth is no advanced society can function well without the creative thinking and work of individuals who hold graduate degrees. Think about it. The clean water that people drink, the municipal infrastructure that we all use every day, the medical devices, drugs, and procedures that people benefit from, the computing and internet technologies that are so ubiquitous in our daily lives, the art, the music, and dramatic productions that benefit all of us and that we all enjoy, the schools that our children attend, and now the biomedical advances in public health policies that will continue to guide us as we emerge from this pandemic. All of these things are possible because individuals like you, people with advanced graduate training, make these things a reality. So my message to you is simple. Your achievement of a graduate degree is not just an individual honor that we celebrate today. Your achievement now places you at the center of an illustrious group of individuals whose work directly benefits the daily lives of millions of people. An advanced society is fueled by the work and creativity of those with advanced graduate degrees. And we celebrate all that you have achieved, and we eagerly anticipate the many ways you will contribute to the world as UC San Diego graduate alumni. So, congratulations. It's now my honor to introduce our student speaker for today's ceremony, Julia Cornell. Julia is president of the Graduate and Professional Student Association at UC San Diego and is a PhD student in the Department of Political Science. She received her Bachelor of Science degree in Neuroscience and her Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science from the University of Southern California. Please join me in welcoming Julia.
Hello, everyone, graduates, friends, family, faculty, staff, members of the UCSD administration, alumni, and those of you joining us online. Congratulations to the class of 2023. My name is Julia Corno, as Dean Antony so kindly mentioned. I'm third year PhD candidate here in the Political Science Department, and I'm the current GPSA president. And I'm honored to have been invited to speak to you all today. I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to celebrate the hard work of each and every member of our graduating class. They truly deserve it and are to be commended, so congratulations once again. Last year, when I spoke at the 2022 commencement ceremony, I spoke about community. I spoke about how it could help us through difficult times and how we must ensure that our communities are open and accepting for all. This past year, I have been lucky enough to be a part of the GPSA community, some of whose members are actually graduating today in this ceremony. So Ross, Jimena, Aaron, Michelle, Gabriel, Manas, I wish you all the best of luck on your journey, and you should remember that the GPSA community, we will always be here for you. We are so proud of you. But this year, I want to shift my topic a little. I want to speak about how we might create space for each other. And I mean space not just in a physical sense, but in a relational community sense as well. My dissertation research project, and I'm just at the early stages, mind you. Unlike all of you, I don't know what I'm going to be getting out of here, so please wish me luck. My dissertation research project looks at what adherence to particular political and theoretical concepts really require of us when we think about constructing political space. That is, what does, say, equality really look like in a spatial sense, both physically and relationally? And I think about these questions through a disability studies lens, whether that disability is physical or cognitive. The thing is, we construct space together. We collectively decide how to live in relation to each other and how we move through the world. Collectively decide where to invest in our infrastructure and our relationships. As Hema Kopale, a UCSD graduate student, has said to me before, our budget reflects our values, whether that budget is financial, emotional, physical, or whatever else. And right now, we might say that our budgets are, in many cases, incorrectly balanced. We invest in areas our society tells us we need to invest in for the sake of success, whatever that might mean. And because of institutional, structural, societal, or even individual inertia, it's difficult to shift those budgets to prioritize things that haven't been previously valued. You might imagine that this results in a myriad of problems. Some are about our approach to the world around us. We might act in more reactive rather than proactive ways, patching holes rather than creating a smooth wall in the first place. In other cases, entire groups of people are left out, forgotten, or exploited. And ultimately, these decisions about space are really about access. Who is a part of the space that we move through? Who can not only be seen as they are, but also be invited and accepted and celebrated as they are? Who is enabled to provide the value they alone can provide? As you all go out into the next stages of your lives, your careers, your research, I invite you all to think about these questions. You all are going into fields that shape the world, quite literally, physically, emotionally, in our relations to one another. Who and what are you prioritizing in your work? Who do you think of when shaping your research questions and when engaging in the daily activities of your world? Who do you ask for opinions, and who is left out? Whose experience do you embrace as valid, and whose do you question or dismiss? Who might challenge you to think more broadly about access and inclusion, and in the end, about community? These are not easy questions to tackle, nor are there easy answers to implement, when those answers might require change to our social structures, especially since they have been answered in a very particular way for a very long time. In some cases, for centuries before this country even came into existence. But as new graduates, I posit that you all have duty to shape a world that challenges the kinds of decisions that have led to accessible spaces along all kinds of different axes. You have been given an access, a kind of access, that many are not privy to. Many of you fought hard for that access and have directly come up against the kinds of issues that I've spoke of today. So I ask you, what would have made our university space more inviting to you, more accessible for you? What have others told you about what could make it more accessible and inviting for them? I urge you to listen to these experiences and think about how your future work can respond to them and open the world up for those who may not have had access like you did, or to address some of the struggles that you may have faced in getting to where you are. And through this all, I urge you to remember the role of community. True community is there to support you, to listen to you, to grow with you, as you explore these kinds of challenges and the ways that you might reshape them. Lean on your community, or your communities plural, as you push the boundaries of current structure and space, pulling them into new shapes. Ask your community to help usher people through that new, more accessible door that you help create or tear down entirely, as a part of a greater collective. You all, we all really, have the power to shift our budgetary priorities through means that are financial, physical, emotional, relational, and otherwise. I believe in all of you to go out and create the space for a better world. So with that, class of 2023, I once again wish you the most heartfelt of congratulations. This celebration is well-deserved for every single one of you, and I wish you all the very best in going forward in your journey. And may you all go forth and bring good to the future of this world. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Julia. I would next like to introduce our commencement speaker for today's ceremony, Dr. and Professor Jay Cummings. Jay Cummings received his PhD in 2016 from UC San Diego in mathematics under the advisor, Professor Ron Graham. After completing his PhD, Jay joined the faculty at CSU Sacramento, where he continues his research on combinatorics. Clearly, I'm not a math guy. Jay believes that learning math, which I need to read some of your stuff, has become far too expensive, and he is striving to write textbooks which are enjoyable to read, highlight the beauty in mathematics, and are significantly more affordable than others in the market. As a professor at CSU Sacramento, Jay is passionate about his teaching and particularly enjoys involving students in his work. He also enjoys designing new courses. Please give a huge round of applause for Professor Jay Cummings.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. And for starters, a huge congratulations to the graduates. You achieved something amazing today. And congratulations also to the loved ones who have supported you all this time, including parents, siblings, children, pets, and friends. Today is your day too. The last time I was at UCSD was in 2018, when I was on a panel for incoming math PhD students. And some of the students I spoke to back then are wearing a cap and gown today. But I'm not sure what advice I would have given them if I had known everything that has happened over the past 5 years. Getting an advanced degree at one of the top universities in the world is an amazing accomplishment during the best of times. And you all did it during a worldwide pandemic. If you earned a master's, this was no ordinary master's. If you earned a doctorate, this was no ordinary doctorate. Your accomplishment is even more impressive. Therefore, simply awarding you a PhD, for example, as impressive as that degree is, would still underrepresent your accomplishment. Given this fact, I would like to start my speech by proposing that we amend the degrees that you're all about to receive. The change is simple. It can be made with a Sharpie. If you earned a PhD, I move that you be granted a PhD plus. It's like a PhD, but just a little bit more, because you earned a little bit more. If you earned an EDD, I propose that you get an EDD plus. And likewise for a DMA plus, DAUD plus, and an MFA plus. This way, when someone looks at your CV in 20 years, they will know this was no ordinary graduate degree. There was one exception to this. It turns out that the syntax doesn't work as well for the computer science graduates. So if you earned your computer science PhD, your new degree would be a PhD plus plus. That got a bigger reaction than I was anticipating. It is a C++ joke for the confused. It will not be explained. Okay. Sounds pretty good, right? Now, nothing happens in academia without taking a vote. So we'll have to take a vote on this. We'll vote using applause. Everyone can vote, not just graduates. So by your applause, who thinks the graduates deserve applause? Sounds inclusive? Any opposed? In the opinion of the chair, it passes by acclamation. In all seriousness, you should be very proud of yourself. Getting a graduate degree in quarantines, frankly, I don't think I could have done what you did. And if you struggle to make friends during this unusual time, if you struggled with your personal life, if you struggled with your mental health or your physical health, or if you ever lost passion for your work, then I hope you smile even more deeply today because you are here and you did it. And if you did make some close friends during your time here, I hope you keep in touch with those friends. To this day, a group chat that my grad school friends and I started way back in 2011 is still going strong. Commencement speeches often include high-minded advice that is perhaps inspirational but hard to put into practice. Well, here's the very concrete advice for all of you. Keep those group chats going. Keep in touch with those friends. Now, it is every commencement speaker's duty to remind you that you're graduating into a changing world. Each generation is faced with new challenges. For your generation, these include a society where social bonds are fraying, a world where the climate is changing, and the maturation of artificial intelligence, whose effects are uncertain to be net positive. In 10 years' time, the members of this graduate class will likely be spread out around the world, working in academia, industry, and government. Many people in this class will make very significant advances in their field. For that, I feel honored to wish you the very best. I'm also aware that many of you have no idea where you want to be in 10 years. And you know what? That's okay too. I'm sorry, moms and dads, but it is. And even if you think you know where you want to be, that might change. For many of you, your plans change from the first day of your undergrad to the last day of undergrad. For many of you, your plans change from the first of grad school to today. Perhaps for one or two of you, your plans have changed since I started speaking. It's okay if your plans change again. Embrace it. Today, I'm a professor with focus on writing. When I started grad school, I wanted to focus on research. When I started undergrad, I wanted to be an engineer. And before that, I wanted to be the next Michael Jordan. Alas, sometimes our plans change. It's also okay if you feel anxious about what the future holds. And if you experience things which you might consider a failure, remember that in the future, you may look back at those moments as crucial steps toward the future you built. One of my grad school friends told me that in his family, growing up, they celebrated failures because you never know what doors these events open up. I also hope you seek out and hold on to your personal relationships. And if, and only if, you decide you want one, I hope for you a family. I'm a dad of a toddler, and it's the most joyous part of my life. In fact, I believe grad school has prepared you very well for parenthood, and I can even prove this to you. See if the following sounds at all familiar from your recent experiences. Parenting can include late nights, but also the occasional glorious afternoon nap. Parenting can include a reduced attention to your physical health and an increase in the amount of cheesy pasta you cook. It can include reading the same book over and over and over again, and it can certainly make you wish that you were making more money. And with parenting, your life is determined by someone who is kind of like your boss, who you have trouble understanding initially, but over the years, they slowly start to make sense. See? You're ready. Parenthood is basically just 18 more years of grad school. No problems, right? Well, whatever path you take in life, I hope it is fulfilling. And that's not based off my definition of fulfillment, or your parents' definition, or your friend's definition, and certainly not your employer's definition, but on your definition. For those of you going into nonprofit and government work, thank you for your service. For those of you going into industry, enjoy the money. And for those of you who never want to grow up, well, academia welcomes you. I've been a professor for 7 years now, and this much I can tell you. The summers are amazing. A month off every winter? Incredible. But academia also has the habit of defining your values for you. In your tenure document, they tell you, here are the 4 ways in which you will be judged. So value these 4 above all else. And I'm sure many other jobs do the same. Whenever possible, I encourage you to maintain the value system that you want. The reason I was invited to give this address is because I write math textbooks, which are way different than the ones I grew up on. They completely abandoned the traditional formula, and most publishers would have been very hesitant to publish the first one. Even my tenure committee expressed hesitation. But today, my second book is the highest-selling math textbook on Amazon, and my first book is not far behind. They are doing well precisely because I ignored the traditional value system and stuck to my vision and values. I hope you can also find this freedom. It really has been an honor to speak to you all today. While preparing for this speech, I discovered that one of the most famous UCSD commencement speeches from the past was delivered by Dr. Seuss, who is a doctor in kind of the same way that most of you are about to become doctors. I'm teasing. I mean, sure, he published a lot, but in Lorax, he rhymes stop, schlippity schlop, so I'm not sure all of his stuff would have made it past review or 2. But as I was saying, Dr. Seuss, who, as you all know, was very well connected to this university, gave a commencement speech here. I could only find part of his address. The part that was preserved history is a poem he wrote, in which he read at the end of his speech. As it happens, I'm also an amateur poet, and I thought it sounded like a fun challenge to try to write a commencement poem that at least somewhat mimics Dr. Seuss's style. And so, if my advice didn't resonate with you, and if my jokes didn't land, well, let's see what you think about my poetry. And so, for perhaps just the second time in UCSD commencement history, I will force the graduates to listen to an original poem, which I promise was not written by ChatGPT. To graduates, family, loved ones, and friends, if you'd please wake up now, you could hear how this speech ends. 2 decades of work, starting from a school bus, has led to this moment, a degree with a plus. I hope you enjoyed your time at school in a town so lovely they named it The Jewel. What will you miss most? Your future self knows. But if you ask me, it is Oscar's Tacos. While some of you knew that you'd be here someday, most others had doubt that had pulled hopes away. Whatever your story or struggles or age, you're all equal now as you walk across this stage. And if you have earned a doctorate degree, remember the right now afforded to thee. You could, for example, demand that your friends address you as doctor, as your title intends. But if an emergency happens today on your flight home to family to North Santa Fe, If your flight crew asks, "Is there a doctor at all?" I want to say clearly, do not heed that call. Today you have freedom. Your life just began. Have fun, have adventures, help out where you can. Each step moves you forward by each little toe. In the words of another, oh, the places you'll go. There's literally no better possible time to dream wild dreams that seem too sublime. It's hard to dream big when your life's in a blizzard, but it's easier today when you're dressed like a wizard. It's time to say bye and so long to this place, from Remac to Geisel to your favorite workspace, to that random blue house on Warren Mall Heights, to your favorite spots where you spent days and nights, your office or lab where you had brilliant thoughts, your coffee shops, bars, and food takeaway spots, the classrooms you've been in to learn and to teach, and if you so chose, so long to Black's Beach. These places will go, but their memories stay. They've shaped who you are as you enter the fray. I hope you keep close all the friendships you've made. I hope you pay forward all that you've been paid. I hope you stay curious. I hope you seek truth. I hope you find peace when you're long in the tooth. I hope you help others throughout your life's way, and I'm honored to wish you the best on this day. Thank you all. Congratulations.
Come on, give them more than that. I would have done it here on stage, pull out my cell phone and whip the Amazon app and ordered a couple of textbooks in math, but I'll do it when I get home, Jay. So, all right. I will now proceed to the reason we are all here, to the presentation of graduate degree recipients portion of the ceremony. Now, just to let everybody know, photographs of the ceremony will be available from Grad Images. Family and friends are welcome to take photographs during the reception, but for safety reasons, I really ask that everybody refrain from climbing over those fences and coming down to the floor. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We commend these students for completing the degree requirements necessary for achieving the highest awarded degree in their chosen academic field. Let me say that again. The highest awarded degree in their chosen academic field. And what are those degrees? They are the Master of Fine Arts, cheer. The Doctor of Education. The Doctor of Philosophy. And the Doctor of Musical Arts. Now, all graduates will be hooded during the ceremony, and your hooding advisor will be here to secure your hood. If your hooding advisor happens to not be here, we will do it up here for you, so have no worries. We're going to start. Recipients of the degree of Master of Fine Arts, please rise. We recognize today these graduate students who have completed program of study leading to the Master of Fine Arts. We commend you for having completed your degree. Will our new Master of Fine Arts graduates come forward to the left of the stage to be recognized when your name is called? I'd like to invite from the Department of Literature, Professor Camille Forbes, to join to my right here to assist with the hooding.
Matthew David Ford. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
right, representing the Department of Theater and Dance, please join in welcoming Professor Julie Burrell.
Jared Blake Halsell. Salvador Casares Zamora. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Representing the Department of Visual Arts, please welcome Professor Ann Galacio.
Arlene Mejorado. Heej Kim. Mika Castaneda. Sabrina Grace Pearsall. Lorena Ochoa.
Recipients of the Doctor of Education Studies, please rise. We recognize today these graduate students who have completed a program of study leading to the Doctor of Education. We commend them for having completed their degree. Will our new Doctor's of Education come forward to the left of the stage to be recognized when your name is called? I'd like you to join me in welcoming from the Department of Education Professors Alan Daly and Chris Halter.
Amanda Jesus Corona, hooded by Dr. Alan Daly. Carol Elise Battle, hooded by Amanda Datnow. Devin Senaseth Morano, hooded by Alan Daly. Lubna Nona Kasab, hooded by Alan Daly. Jessica Leora Nair, hooded by Alan Daly. Noor Nona, hooded by Carolyn Hofstetter. Melissa Ann Paulus, hooded by Carolyn Hofstetter. David Sosa, hooded by Carolyn Hofstetter. Alexandra Elizabeth Serrano, hooded by Carolyn Hofstetter. Kelly Leah Stewart, hooded by her sister, Teresa Ambo. Franklin Garrett, hooded by Teresa Ambo. Mackenzie Jill Campbell, hooded by Alan Daly. Moises Alejandro Alvarado Garcia, hooded by Alan Daly. Christina Magalong, hooded by Alan Daly. Tina No Bartel, hooded by Dr. Alan Daly. Christobel Jane Tan, hooded by Dr. Alan Daly.
Will recipients of the degree Doctor of Philosophy please rise? We recognize today these graduate students who have completed a program of study leading to the Doctor of Philosophy. We commend you for having completed your degree. Will our new Doctors of Philosophy please come forward to the left of the stage to be recognized when your name is called? Representing the Department of Bioengineering, please join me in welcoming Professor Adam Engler.
Jamie Marie Maynor, hooded by Dr. Adam J. Engler. Sachin Goval, hooded by Dr. Adam Engler. Kevin William Reichel, hooded by Bernhard Paulson. Esther Wei Yi Lim, hooded by Christian Matayo. Pablo Tostado Marcos, hooded by Vikash Gilja. Michael Cameron Svaven, hooded by Drew Hall. Akshay Paul, hooded by Gert Kauenberg. Clara Ann Posner, hooded by Jin Zhang. Julia Catherine Hardy, hooded by Jin Zhang. Jervon DeAnthony Hunter, hooded by Karen Christman. Eric Chung, hooded by Adam Engler. Wisarut Kirati Tanaporn, hooded by Dr. Xiao Chen Chen. Laura Sofia Vasquez Bolanos, hooded by Samuel Ward. Saral Kerulu Ranamukaralachi, hooded by Stephanie Fraley. William D. Lineweber, hooded by Stephanie Fraley. April Joy Castro Aralar, hooded by Stephanie Fraley. Samson Fong, hooded by Trey Itaker. Qi Yuan Zhong, hooded by Ziping Zheng. Lauren Beth Waller, hooded by Judy Kim. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Representing the Department of Bioinformatics and Systems Biology, please welcome Professor Terry Gasterlin.
Jason Hyun, hooded by Bernard Paulson. Kivuljum Osterk, hooded by Hannah Carter. Cynthia Wu, hooded by Melissa Dimrick and Alan Gorin. Andre Bzikadze, hooded by Melissa Jimrek. Eric Antonio Armingo Gonzalez, hooded by Nathan E. Lewis. James Terrence Sorrentino, hooded by Nathan E. Lewis. Qianju Chen, hooded by Terry Gasterland. Michelle Frank Bagsack, hooded by Terry Gasterland. Yue Jin, hooded by Trey Eidecker.
Now,
We will now recognize graduates.
Before Dr. Chin goes anywhere, she is being recognized as the recipient of the Chancellor's Dissertation Medal. Congratulations.
We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
They had a certificate. I forgot to give them the certificate. All right, where are we? Forgive me. Representing the Department of Biological Sciences, please welcome Professor Justin Meyer on stage.
Ante Alexander Stevens, hooded by Andres Lesner. Erai Anisan, hooded by Justin Meyer. Haomi Wang, hooded by Justin Meyer. Joshua Boren, hooded by Dr. Justin Meyer. Michelle Feng Di Bui, hooded by Dr. Justin Meyer. Rachel Rose Handel, hooded by Sonia Neal. Ying Tong Lee, hooded by Mitchell Cronenberg. Yue Soon, hooded by Yishi Jin. Zachary Jason Warburg, hooded by Cornelis Murr. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Representing the program of Biomedical Sciences, please welcome Professor Farah Sheikh to the stage.
Alexander Curtis Jones, hooded by Dr. Farah Sheikh. Anthony Kwok Vu, hooded by Dr. Farah Sheikh. Bernadette Ann Chua, hooded by Robert Signer. Christine Sarah Liu, hooded by Gerald Chun. Chris Park, hooded by Gerald Chun. Carter Palmer, hooded by Gerald Chun. Linnea Sandberg Ransom, hooded by Gerald Chun. Emily Nicole Griffin, hooded by Susan Ackerman. Ivy Fung, hooded by Shane Crotty. Jack Houston, hooded by Farah Sheikh. Margaret Catherine Burns, hooded by Dr. Farah Sheikh. Spencer Edmonds Breitzman, hooded by Dr. Farah Sheikh. Michael Joseph Valdez, hooded by Dr. Farah Sheikh. Tiani Lee Lewis, hooded by Dr. Farah Sheikh. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Okay, next is chemical engineering. Please join me in welcoming Professor Jing Chen to the stage.
Alexander Chen, hooded by Darren Lepomi. Alan Lung, hooded by Dr. Zeng Chen. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Please welcome to the stage Professor Michael Burkhardt.
Brody Link Ranza, hooded by Alexis Kamor. Elizabeth Michelle Porto, hooded by Alexis Kamor. Lin Feng Chen, hooded by Alina Schimpf. Liana Alves, hooded by Alina Schimpf. Alexander Gregory Rashov, hooded by Alina Schimpf. Jessica Quinn Geisenhoff, hooded by Alina Schimpf. Taylor Sidney Steele, hooded by Bradley S. Moore. Eileen Button, hooded by Colleen McHugh. Tong Su, hooded by Colleen McHugh.
I'll try.
Constanza Torres Paris, hooded by Elizabeth A. Calmives. Raymond Francis Berkeley, hooded by Galia Debelucina. Tara Zand, hooded by Jeffrey Reinhardt. Maximilian Gordon Bernbeck, hooded by Jeffrey Reinhardt. Jen Silva Daluz, hooded by Michael Burkhardt. Rachel Samantha Ehrlich, hooded by Michael Burkhardt. Christine Claudine Ligse Tepang, hooded by Michael Burkhardt. Christian Gabriel Seitz, hooded by Rami Amaro. Stephanie Lisette Mora Garcia, hooded by Judy Kim. Deborah Kim, hooded by Judy Kim. Jimena Garcia Arceo, hooded by Elizabeth Comives. Mei Han Lee, hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Comives. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is clinical psychology, our joint doctoral program with San Diego State University. Please welcome Professors Lauren Brookman-Frazee and Professor Vanessa Malcarne.
Jack Patrick Brady, hooded by Aaron Blasho. Bozy Chen, hooded by Ina Fishman. Joseph Patrick Happer, hooded by Ksenia Marinkovic. Kimberly Lauren Saven, hooded by Linda Gallo. Kara Lynn Dockett, hooded by Nilufar Alfari. Laura Michelle Campbell, hooded by Rayanne Moore. Jivandeep Singh Kohli, hooded by Ruth Carper. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next Next is the Department of Cognitive Science. Please join me in welcoming Professor Judy Kim.
Samuel Ethan Lau, hooded by Philip Guo. Taryn Dakota Johnson, hooded by Lara Rangel. Vicky Zhao, hooded by Lara Rangel. Suhan Zoe Tung, hooded by Sarah Creel. Yifan Xu, hooded by Sarah Creel. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Communication. Please join me in welcoming Professor Robert Hurwitz.
Sophie Stachus, hooded by Dr. Robert Horwitz. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Please welcome Professor Stephen Swanson and Russell Impigliazzo.
Albrust Olson, hooded by Stephen Swanson. Endi Mirhab Tanjim, hooded by Garrison W. Cottrell. Ariana Mirion, hooded by Jeffrey M. Volker and Stefan Savage. Audrey Randall, hooded by Jeff Volker, Stefan Savage, and Aaron Schulman. Sorush Goldrati, hooded by Hadi Esmailzadeh. Sean David Kinzer, hooded by Hadi Esmailzadeh. Young Hoon An, hooded by Hadi Esmailzadeh. Kwan Ho Wong, hooded by Henrik Christensen. David Fernando Paz Ruiz, hooded by Henrik Christensen. Akanimo Aluwasami Adalaye, hooded by Henrik Christensen. Parth Nikara, hooded by Stephen Swanson. Bodhisattva Prasad Majumdar, hooded by Stephen Swanson. Zhifeng Kong, hooded by Kamalka Chaudhary. Jacob John Imola, hooded by Kamalika Chaudhary. Alyssa Kim Kubota, hooded by Laurel Rick. Mariam Porabadi. Li Ke Hui, hooded by Stephen Swanson. Janet George Johnson, hooded by Nadir Weibel. Danilo Gasquez, hooded by Nadir Weibel. Zun Win, hooded by Nuno Bandeira. Kai En Lin, hooded by Stephen Swanson. Rui Wang, hooded by Rose Yu. Ken Hoover, hooded by Russell Impagliazzo. Anthony Hitchcock Thomas, hooded by Sanjoy Dasgupta. Juno Kim, hooded by Dr. Stephen Swanson. Jorge Alberto Garza Guardado, hooded by Dr. Stephen Swanson. Hao Chen Huang, hooded by Dr. Stephen Swanson. Minchen Do, hooded by Dr. Stephen Swanson. Fatima Mirashala, hooded by Taylor Berg Kirkpatrick. Guanrong Jiang, hooded by Ziping Zheng. Sophia Luisa Kraus-Levy, hooded by William G. Griswold. Bingyu Shen, hooded by Stephen Swanson. Tun Tai, hooded by Stephen Swanson. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Economics. Please welcome Professor Julie Cullen.
Nikolai Kudrin, hooded by Graham Elliott. Parker Rogers, hooded by Jeffrey Clemens. Ellen Wenkai Liao, hooded by Dr. Julie Cullen. Connor Vastlev Mayer, Redpath, hooded by Dr. Julie Cullen. Bei Luo, hooded by Julie Cullen. Daniil Dmitriev, hooded by Renee Bowen. Freddie Papazian, hooded by Renee Bowen. Minki Kim, hooded by Dr. Julie Cullen. Wan Tong Zhang, hooded by Dr. Julie Cullen. Shunse Hori, hooded by Dr. Julie Corin. Radhika Goyal, hooded by Dr. Julie Cullen. Catherine Rittenhouse, hooded by Dr. Julie Cullen. Hai Tian Xie, hooded by Graham Elliott. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Education Studies. Please welcome Professors Alan Daly and Chris Halter.
Anita Kadoof, hooded by Dr. Alan Daly. Melissa von Warstadt, hooded by Dr. Shanna Cohen. Patricia Ann Benitez Hemans, hooded by Alan Daly. Andrew John Matshiner, hooded by Micah Pollock. Leslie Ann Dakin Gouch, hooded by Megan Hopkins. Amy Den Wang, hooded by Samuel Musaeus. Jessica Miguel Garcia, hooded by Shauna R. Cohen. Ruby Osoria, hooded by Alan Daly. James Crawford, hooded by Chris Halter. will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Please welcome Professor Drew Hall.
Min Soo Kim, hooded by Andrew B. Kang. Uday Malapa, hooded by Chung Kwang Cheng. Sarah Kandil, hooded by Daniel Sievepiper. Robert Joseph Benton Davis, hooded by Daniel Sievepiper. Roshan Ayala Somaya Jula, hooded by Dinesh Baradia. Jiao Guan, hooded by Dr. Xiaochen Chen. Ian Charles Colbert, hooded by Dr. Drew Hall. Dimitri Adrian Schreiber, hooded by Dr. Drew Hall. Omi Gadami, hooded by Dr. Drew Hall. Shovik Ganguly, hooded by Dr. Drew Hall. Pei Wang, hooded by Dr. Drew Hall. Jared Johann Leitner, hooded by Dr. Drew Hall. Yuhan Shi, hooded by Duigu Kuzum. Sanghun Oh, hooded by Duigu Kuzum. Mojan Javaheripi, hooded by Farinas Koshamfar. Zhao Xing Hu, hooded by Gabriel Rives. Shu Fan Wang, hooded by Gabriel Ribes. Ratul Das, hooded by Hanfuk Lei. Spencer William Conjero, hooded by Drew Hall. Jihan Gurk Gunger, hooded by Drew Hall. Rohit Parusnis, hooded by Professor Beiruz Puri. Deifala Al-Mutari, hooded by Drew Hall. Ashish Patel, hooded by Vikash Gilja. Abdullah Mohammed Al-Othman, hooded by Vikash Gilja. Ren Jie Zhao, hooded by Drew Hall. Timothy Woodford, hooded by Drew Hall. Zhang Junmin, hooded by Yuhua Lo. Mohammed Samavat, hooded by Drew Hall. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Ethnic Studies. Please welcome Professor Roy Perez.
Melanie Marie West, hooded by Dr. Roy Perez. Sophia Raquel Armin, hooded by Dr. Roy Perez. Oscar Antonio Gutierrez, hooded by Dr. Roy Perez. Christian Abneru Acefa, hooded by Yen Lee Espiritu. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of History. Please welcome Professor Patrick Patterson.
Alexis Nicole Mesa, hooded by Yen Le Espiritu. Ivana Polic, hooded by Dr. Patrick Hyder Patterson. Lauren Elizabeth Wood, hooded by Dr. Patrick Patterson. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Representing the Herbert Wertheim School of Public Health and Human Longevity Science, please join me on stage with Judy Kim.
Kelsey Reed Chapman, hooded by Katrina S. Monroe. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Program of Interdisciplinary Research on Substance Use. Again, Professor Judy Kim.
Nafisa Ferdos, hooded by Maria Luisa Zuniga de Nuncio. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next, the Department of Linguistics. Once again, Professor Judy Kim joining on stage.
Alejandro Rodriguez, hooded by Grant Goodall. Yadian Huang, hooded by Mark Grelick. Yuan Tai, hooded by Mark Gorelick. Tori Sampson, hooded by Rachel Maybury. Emily Davis, hooded by Robert Klinder. Neshe Demir Nalji, hooded by Sharon Rose. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next, the Department of Literature, Professor Camille Forbes.
Celine Joanna Curry, hooded by Daniel Vitus. Lori Elizabeth Neese, hooded by Camille Forbes. Marina Sotiria Valakis, hooded by Dr. Camille Forbes. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next, the Department of Materials Science and Engineering. Please welcome Professor Olivia Grave.
Guillermo Lázaro Esparza, hooded by Darren Lepomi. Ross Elliott Turner, hooded by Javier Barre. Mayor Hai Shakar, hooded by Javier Gare. Won Jun Kim, hooded by Javier Gare. Xiao Liu, hooded by Javier Gare. Eugene Park, hooded by Dr. Kenneth J. Lowe. Yisheng Liu, hooded by Olivia Grave. Yongliang Dong, hooded by Babhakar Bandaro. Zichun Zhang, hooded by Prabhakar Bandaru. Nada Kari, hooded by Olivia Grave. Wenfang Ten, hooded by Wei Shong. Baharak Sayapur, hooded by Ying Shirley Ming. D.E. Chan, hooded by Ying Shirley Meng. Yi Jie Yin, hooded by Ying Shirley Meng. Edward Wang, hooded by Yuhua Lo. Maritza Sanchez, hooded by Dr. Olivia Grave. Sanahan Vijayakumar, hooded by Dr. Olivia Grave. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Mathematics. Please welcome Professor Philip Gill.
Ningbo Liu, hooded by Jacques Verstappen. Tony Gui, hooded by Jason Schweinsberg. Zechun Zheng, hooded by Jia Wang Nie. Jun Bo Lao, hooded by Philip Gill. Min Xin Zhang, hooded by Philip Gill. Zhu Ziyan, hooded by Philip Gill. Felipe Campos Vergara, hooded by Ruth J. Williams. Xian Wang, hooded by Philip Gill. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Representing the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Aerospace Engineering, please welcome Professor Aaron Rosengren.
Dee Wu, hooded by Dr. Aaron Rosengren. Krish Ushvin Butwala, hooded by Farhat Beg. Sergio Alfonso Sandoval, hooded by John Huang. G.B. Singh, hooded by Miroslav Kristik. James Edmund Lynch, hooded by Nick Gravish. Akil Nikanti, hooded by Oliver Schmidt. Vinod Ramakrishnan, hooded by Michael J. Frazier. Shil Nidhan, hooded by Sitanu Sarkar. Sara Rahimi Nejad, hooded by Shankar Subramaniam. Connor Michael Watson, hooded by Tanya Morimoto. Amy Beth Schwartz, hooded by Dr. Aaron Rosengren. Lee Tan, hooded by Dr. Aaron Rosengren. Rebecca Lee Mastline, hooded by Dr. Aaron Rosengren. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Music. Please welcome Professor Sarah Hankins.
Shao Ai Zhang, hooded by Judy Kim. David Morrison De Filippo, hooded by Sarah Hawkins. Zachary Seth Koenig, hooded by Sarah Hankins. Kevin Green, hooded by Sarah Hankins. Gabriel Zayas Baivian, hooded by Sarah Hankins. Alex Edward Stevenson, hooded by Dr. Sarah Hankins. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Nanoengineering and Chemical Engineering. Please welcome Professor Xiao Chen.
Fang Yu Zhang, hooded by Joseph Wang. Yao Duan, hooded by Joseph Wang. Raina Michelle Borum, hooded by Joseph Wang. Maya Megan Hole, hooded by Dr. Salton Ten. Jacob Benjamin Schmolman, hooded by Dr. Charlton Ten. Justin David Hochberg, hooded by Dr. Charlton Ten. Yi Zhen, hooded by Dr. Charlton Ten. David M. Worth, hooded by Dr. Charlton Ten. Pedram Abbasi, hooded by Dr. Salton Chen. Matthew Shin, hooded by Dr. Charlton Chen. Manas Liket Polikevi Chandrapa, hooded by Charlton Chen. Binyu Liu, hooded by Ying Shirley Meng. Ryosuke Shimizu, hooded by Ying Shirley Meng. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the program in neurosciences. Please join me in welcoming Professor Brenda Bloodgood.
Kevin Lamont White, hooded by Brendan Bloodgood. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Philosophy. Please welcome Professor Ed Chen.
Emma Ruth Duncan, hooded by Dana Nelkin. Jada Simone Wiggleton Little, hooded by Professor Eddie Ke-Ming Chen. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next, the Department of Physics. Please welcome Professor Richard Averett.
Christian Aganze, hooded by Adam Bergasser. Roman Gerasimov, hooded by Adam Bergasser. Randall Edward Clark, hooded by Richard Averett. Joseph Sloan Seibert, hooded by Cam Arnold. Maximiliano Moro Silva Fever, hooded by Cam Arnold. Rick Wagner, hooded by Cam Arnold. Daniel Patrick Gonzalez, hooded by Thomas Murphy. Manho Tang, hooded by Walter Rappel. Avanish Venkata Narla, hooded by Dr. Richard Averett. Balaji Venkat Satya Narayan. Huanyu Kuo, hooded by Dr. Richard Averett. Kelson James Kay, hooded by Dr. Richard Averett. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Department of Political Science, please welcome Professor Lawrence Oz.
Saida Shabano Ayas, hooded by Claire Adida. Thomas Michael Flaherty, hooded by J. Lawrence Brose. Marco Alcocer, hooded by Sebastian Saye. Michael Patrick Hume. Cassidy Sebastian Reller, hooded by Seth Hill. Mackenzie Lockhart, hooded by Seth Hill. Micah Gordon Farver, hooded by Seth Hill. Alexandra Renee Woodruff Lang, hooded by Judy Kim. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Psychology. Please welcome Professor Judy Kim.
Minju Kim, hooded by Adina Schachner. Elizabeth Sophie Lapidow, hooded by Karen Walker. Haleh Yazdi, hooded by David Barner. Hayden Schill, hooded by Timothy Brady. Aubrey Lau, hooded by Victor Ferreira. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. Please welcome Professor Andreas Andersen.
Erica Teresa Mason, hooded by Bryce Simmons. Ariel Catherine Pesner, hooded by Dr. Andreas Andersen.
And as we're hooding Ariel, I'd like to recognize that she is the recipient of the Chancellor's Dissertation Medal.
Anaí Novoa, hooded by Dr. Andreas Andersen. Eleanor Carmen McIntosh, hooded by Dr. Andreas Andersen. Matthew Allen Pendergraft, hooded by Kim Prather. Luke Kackline, hooded by Andreas Andersen. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Sociology. Please welcome Professor David Fitzgerald.
Hee-Yun Kwan, hooded by Dr. David Fitzgerald. Jia-Chi Liu. Ke Nie, hooded by Dr. David Fitzgerald. Stacy Briley Livingstone, hooded by Isaac Martin. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Structural Engineering. Please welcome Professor Kenneth Lowe.
Atul Prabhakaran Parayankod, hooded by Ahmed Elgamal. Yeni Su, hooded by Dr. Kenneth Lowe. Jeffrey Thomas Newgard, hooded by Dr. Kenneth Lowe. Karan Taneja, hooded by Dr. Kenneth Lowe. Mata Movasat. Adrieli Okama Razini, hooded by Michael Todd. Javier Buenrostro, hooded by Michael Todd. Ravi Abesiridara Ramarakun, hooded by Michael Todd. Amanpreet Singh, hooded by Tara Hutchinson. Michael Guy Morano, hooded by Tara Hutchinson. Husuk Lee, hooded by Huang Xiaoming. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
Next is the Department of Theater and Dance. Please welcome Professor Julie Burrell.
Allison Diana Urban, hooded by Julie Burrell. We will now recognize graduates from the next department.
And the Department of Visual Arts. Please welcome Professor Anya Glazio.
Gina Kim, hooded by Ricardo Dominguez. Filomena Jasmine Lopez Rivas, hooded by Ricardo Dominguez.
Congratulations, everybody. One last. This concludes the recognition of our graduate degree recipients. The ceremony will now conclude with the recessional. Audience, please remain seated until the recessional is completed. The graduate will recess up through the stands to my left, and once that is completed, then all family members will exit. Congratulations, everybody.
outside and then we can pick it up.